Adam Lerner, BrooklynPhotoWorks.com, and today we have another Squarespace website portfolio review. And if you guys are looking to submit your websites for a review, please just use the link below, send me your website, and I will check it out. Also, if you are interested in building a Squarespace website, go to squarespace.com/Adam, or after the 14-day trial, use the code ADAM, A-D-A-M, and you will save 10%. You will get 10% off of your website. How cool is that? All right, so today's website is really, really cool. This website has attitude. It's got flavor, it's got emotion, it's got passion. Now there's some things about this website that I think that could be done to improve the website and to improve how the photos are being shown and delivered. But let's go in there and take a look, and I'll tell you guys a lot more. All right. So first of all, we land on the page and it is called Good Time Rick. Now, I like that. There's an attitude, there's a vibe, there's something going on here. And we look at the navigation and it says the hangout culture. Writings, Good Time Rick presents, reckless, about contact. So rather than the traditional portfolio website that just has portraits and lifestyle and all that other kind of crap, this has a little bit more of a thematic vibe going on, and I like that. I don't mind that at all. So let's dig in here. So as we go in, we start to see that we have some images. We've got Modest Yahoo, and that's a really interesting photo. I mean, it's got a certain vibe to it. It's more silhouetted. Now, if you did not know that that was Modest, you probably wouldn't notice, or you wouldn't know. I like the fact that as you put your mouse or scroll over these guys, that you actually see who everybody is. And I think that these are all bands, okay? We've got anything from band portraits, like this one over here, with a ton of headroom, but there's something about that. There's a balance and counterbalance of the band here and this structure that's kind of framing them in this space. You know, it's cool. It's a vibe, you know? I mean, look at High-Waisted. I mean, this is very cool, you know, like given the fist bump from the stage. It's very flash heavy, but it's very cool. Like there's definitely an attitude. Look at her face. I mean, that is a true face of attitude and emotion. I mean, even, you know, we're looking at, I can't remember who these guys are, but look, you know, he's right there. He's right in the band. And it looks as if, from what I can gather, that Rick was probably right on stage with these guys. And that's what it's all about. It's about access. It's about getting right there, getting into the action and telling the story like that. So we've got a lot of different kind of stuff. We've got another big headroom shot, but I think that that's a thing. I mean, look, it's a vibe, you know, it's a gritty background, a bunch of old refrigerators, and the band hanging out there, and the band looking like they don't really give a crap. And that's cool. I mean, look, it's attitude and it shows. This is a cool silhouetted shot. Looks like it was taken from a rooftop. Let's see, we'll just keep going on here. I mean, look at this shot. I mean, obviously, something's going on here. This was like from a mosh pit or something like that. You know, we've got, look at the expressions going on here, okay? There's definitely a story being told. I mean, guys, you know, youth culture just kind of pushing themselves around. I like the fact that it's black and white. You know, even this shot, I mean, this tells a lot of a story. You know, you look at the skinny jeans with the hole in it and the footwear, you know, and the kind of ratty couch and the floor. It definitely tells a story. It definitely informs us about the vibe here. This one's really cool because because Rick used some foreground elements to kind of frame the band over here, and it's definitely a candid portrait, but it's a vibe. It's cool. And look, if this thing was being used for a band poster or for any kind of a promo, this is a great way to have the band offset, and you lay over text or graphics on the left side there, and it works. You know, we can just keep going here. Here's another shot of that high-waisted. Really cool effects. I'm guessing that this might have been slow shutter speed to get all this kind of stuff because we've got the motion here, but it works and it's a vibe and it's cool. Another shot here of, who are these guys? Let me just see who these guys are. Sty-eyed. Hey, you know, hey, look, you know, I'm not that hip. I don't know who these bands are, but you know, these are great band shots. And the thing I love about the band shots and about the vibe here is that, you know, it really encapsulates youth culture and it really encapsulates what's going on, what's happening now. I mean, look, this shot here, you can see was taken just behind the drum kit. You've even got a little bit of the guitar guitar ramp over here. So Rick literally just pushed himself right in there, and he got the shot, and he got the emotion, he got the vibe. You know, this dude is totally rocking out on the bass. It looks awesome. Let's go over here. You know, we've got this kind of interesting portrait, and again, we have a lot of space on the left, but it works. Somehow, it really works. I like the texture. I like the selective lighting that's going on over here. You know, Karma Kid's hanging out. This Simon Spy, I don't know. This one is not as strong. It's still cool. I like the blue toning of it. What is the name of this band? Maeve. Oh God, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. Yeah, I mean, look, this one doesn't have the vibe, doesn't have the emotion, it does have the story. You know, you can see they're coming out of the tour bus. You know, this dude's got his gear and his guitar. You know, what's going on in the scene is not as interesting. Like this one, this shot of wall. I mean, it's very cool. I like how there's so much blackness. You know, just maybe if there was a little bit more eye or contact on there, but this is cool. You know, the overhead shot of, you know, one of the fans hanging out with one of the guitarists and like this expression that's going on, then somebody taking a picture of it. There's a lot of information. There's a big story being told in here, and it's all happening in one shot in one moment. Sean Fahey, that's a great portrait. I mean, that's like album cover type of stuff, you know, with the way that it's lit and the background out of focus. And you know, look, the shots just go on and on. I mean, you know, this is a familiar scene if you're in a rock band. You know, all the dudes going into the hotel with their guitars, because obviously you do not sleep at night with your guitars, your precious guitar sitting in the tour van. So, you know, they got their gear, their backpacks and whatnot. You know, good vibe, good emotion. It's, you know, a little bit more of a standard kind of a live shot. It could have been shot anywhere, but you know, there's a vibe there. And we keep going on and on. This is kind of cool, Brianna Barbera. Good selective focus, you know, the eye closest to camera is in focus. There's a little bit of a distraction over here, but there's definitely something going on. You see the sweat on her face. That's kind of interesting. More slow shutter speed action, more of, you know, the kind of, you know, vibe that's going on here. Again, another one of these kind of hanging out shots. You know, you got the attire, you know, and this tells a story. You know, you've got, probably this is a backstage shot in a green room, you know, which, you know, is not unusual to have like a ratty couch. That's very often the case. But the band's hanging out, they got their bottles of Poland spring water, and you know, the look here, you know, the attire, the socks, the shoes, the whole thing, the glove, it really does help to tell that story. And you know, we just go on and on and on, like, you know, let's see what we got over here. This is really neat. You know, all the multiple reflections, and you know, Rick obviously didn't put himself in the photo, which is not easy to do when you're dealing with multiples of reflections. The toning is cool, the whole vibe just kind of works. You know, really cool light on this one. I like too how not only do we have the mosaic of the photos, but we also have the name of the band on each photo, and then we can click on that and then we get a bigger image. And obviously we can scroll forward or backward. This is cool. It's a cool location. You know, it's a little bit silhouetted, but again, it's a vibe. There's a vibe going on. We dig that. I mean, look at Retail. I mean, this dude obviously is, you know, I don't know if he's a hardcore band, but he's a hardcore dude, because, you know, the guy's bleeding from his head and he's singing with a tremendous amount of emotion. There's sweat beating off of his face. There's another dude who's obviously rocking out because he's blurred out in the background. You know, really cool vibe. Again, you know, more of this kind of insight into this world, and it really tells a story. And what I love about all this stuff is, what I'm saying is that this is the kind of stuff that is what brands love. They love to see youth culture. They like the styling, you know, they like the vibe, they like the interaction, and they like the honesty. And these photos have a very honest feel to me. I feel that they're honest, that they're candid, that they're full of emotion, and I really dig that. And even the ones that are portraits, I mean, look at the lighting on this one. You know, it's just really nice selective lighting, and then you have that balanced with this really interesting background, whether this is a fence or whatever it may be, it doesn't even matter. But you've got, you know, her textured curly hair, and then you've got these straight lines. It works really nice. Okay, so now we go into the hangout culture, and this he calls the time between work and sleep. And I love that because, you know, that is so much of what youth culture is. It's like, you know, hanging out with your friends, going out on hikes, going and listening to music, whatever it may be. You know, and here we go, this first image here. Now these we can't expand, but this is a nice sized image here. And we've got like 4 people, you know, with a little light coming down through the trees, lighting them up. They're naked. So again, it's that youth culture, it's that story, it's a vibe. The contrast of their skin, which is so organic with the trees and the sky, it really just, it tells a story, and it's very compelling because you are instantly drawn in to what they're doing. This is a beautiful shot here. You know, we've got some really nice toning on here. I don't even know if there's a tremendous amount of editing going on here, but I love the lighting of this. I like the whole look that she's giving into the mirror. You know, this is cool. Some dude skateboarding with his reflection in this old car. You know, I don't know what's going on here, but again, there's just something, there's a story. I mean, you know, he shot it through the arm of this guy holding some kind of a hunting knife and some guy running toward him. It tells a story, you know, nice lighting over here. Hey, I know that. That's Kent Street. Some dude on a skateboard. That's not as compelling to me. This one's kind of cool. Again, you know, it really embodies that youth culture. And I think youth culture is hot. I mean, if you look at a lot of branding right now, if you look at a lot of catalogs or even just, you know, lookbook stuff online, you will see that youth culture and being able to really tell the story with that is what brands are looking, especially when they're shooting lookbook, because they're not necessarily just selling you a pair of jeans or a pair of shoes. They're trying to sell you a lifestyle, and they're trying to appeal to the person that's going to be buying that. And a lot of this stuff, I feel, can easily translate into that kind of a thing. I mean, how cool is this? You know, you got this chick with these mirrored glasses, and the reflection of, I'm guessing, the lines in the crosswalk are in her glasses, and that just, it's cool. It's a vision. You know, Rick saw that, boom, he grabbed it. You know, this one maybe not as strong. You know, this one's okay. I mean, let me just mute this puppy right here. Anyway, so, you know, as we go on here, you know, there's some really nice light here. There's some nice portraits. I don't know really what's up with this. I mean, there's a little conversation. I think with this kind of a shot here, you know, I want to see this one a little bit bigger. I kind of wish that these images on the Hangout culture had the same capacity or capability, I should say, as the landing page shots, where I don't necessarily need the description of where they are, or who they are, but I would like to be able to click on them and see them larger on the screen. But you know, we've got some really nice stuff here. I mean, we've got what I was saying before, you know, that youth culture vibe. You know, this couple here, skateboard, she's got her hand like in his pocket or grabbing his butt. You know, the hair's flying up in the air, the light's kind of passing through it. I mean, it's really cool. You know, some dudes at a salon, or you know what, honestly, this is probably just backstage, or who knows where this is. Again, you know, some dudes, some chicks hanging out on a highway somewhere. You know, some gals, you know, kind of, there's something going on here. There's some kind of a party that you want to go to. You know, same thing going on here. You know, this is what okay, let me just slow it down a bit and tell you guys what I'm thinking about this. How cool is that actually? You know, all that negative space, again, advertising all the way. Look at the shadowing going on here. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and it looks like Rick has a visual diary going on here, and he has access, and access is key. Access is everything. When you have access, you're able to get an insider's view of something that's happening. He's got an insider view of youth culture, and I don't mean to keep coming back to that, and I'm not trying to say that because like I'm an oldster and he's a youngster or a hipster or whatever it may be, but his photos really embody that vibe, and that is really, really hot right now, whether he knows it or not. It's something that certainly can translate into work, and the fact that he's got his camera with him all the time and he's documenting this, but he's really being selective. He's finding moments. Now, yes, there are definitely moments in here that are not as strong as the others, okay? So maybe there's definitely a few things that can be weeded out, But ultimately, collectively, all of these images tell a story. I like the honesty. I like the toning of them. You know, I don't feel like these images have like heavy editing. It's not like I'm not looking at these and thinking like, oh man, this dude is like going in and he's doing all this, you know, trickery in Photoshop or whatever like that. You know, I mean, it's more about the story. And to be honest with you, with photography, yes, there is a technical aspect to it. And there's no question that Rick has technical abilities because he's definitely able to shoot in a multitude of different environments. He's using natural light. He's using like some pretty serious head-on flash. But he's doing all of these techniques to tell a story. And the images are thick. You know, there's a lot of information in there and they look really good. All right, so let's keep going on here. We're going to writings. Interviews and observations. Okay, so let's see, he's got a handful of these things here. So let's just pop open one. Nothing to Lose, the Ballad of Tall Juan. Let's just go in here. Okay, now this took us to another site. So he's got some writings and photos. And I'm not going to read this whole thing right now, but I would love for you guys to go over it. And basically, this is kind of like an interview and a bio of this musician. And the thing that's really neat about it, which I really enjoy, is the fact that not only are there words, but there's imagery as well. And the images are nicely done. They're very selective. There's a mood, there's a vibe, they're clean. Look at this portrait. I mean, he's got just, you know, it's a kind of an overcast day. He's got a smoke going. There's a magic 8-ball. You can see that they're probably at the beach. You know, his hair's a little tousled. Like, it really is a nice, honest portrait, and I really dig that. So I'm going to get back out of that. Now we're going to go to Good Time Rick Presents, and let's see what that is. And, okay, give it a second. All right, so I guess these are flyers that he's done, and flyer artists available upon request. Oh, you know what it is? These are events that he's actually put on, and these are flyers that go with the events. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, he's definitely embedded in that scene, and this is, you know, a big thing for him. Let's go to Reckless. A 4-year portrait series of artists in New York City. I love that. You know, I think that, you know, as an artist, you know, if you can have access to other artists and be able to create a series about it, that's fantastic. And he's been doing this for 4 years. So it's an ongoing series. And that is what personal work is about. Personal work does not necessarily mean that you do it one and done, one day you're over with it. A personal project can go on for years. There are photographers that spend lifetimes doing personal work. And again, you know, these photos have that kind of honest look you know, a really kind of a connected vibe. I mean, these are not posed portraits. These are not portraits that are shot on a backdrop. These are not portraits that are shot in a studio. I mean, it looks like they were predominantly shot on this one wall because I see a recurring kind of pink blotch on this wall. And, you know, look, you've got every type of person. I mean, you got people that, you know, are you know, all different kinds of artists here. And collectively, this definitely tells a story. And it's, again, it's about access. This is youth culture. These people, you know, in these photos have terrific style. They're young. There's energy. I mean, look at the connection that she has, you know, with the camera. You know, there's just an honesty to this stuff. And that's something that's really, really undeniable. Wow. I don't even want to know what happened with this. The guy's got a bloody hammer and a bloody face, but, you know, it's got shock value. And again, you know, from a technical standpoint, the technical aspect of this photo is not as important as the message and the story that's being told with the photo. And we'll just keep scrolling down here. You know, it's just really, really interesting. Like, I find that this is a visual feast, that I'm really enjoying looking at these photos because I feel inspired by looking at them. I feel that there's connection, and I think that that's so important when you're a photographer. I think that's so important when you're a photographer, is having that connection. All right, let's go over to the About page. We'll start to wrap this sucker up. Good Time Rick is a Brooklyn-based music, portrait, and documentary photographer who also dabbles in videography and writing, using his discerning eye for Canada. Editor of the music and culture blog Black on the Canvas. Okay, so I guess that's his writings. He's got published work in a bunch of different very prestigious magazines. He's won a couple of awards. Okay, so look, I'm not a fan of writing your bio in the third person. Yeah, like if you're Annie Leibovitz or, you know, Steve Meisel or something like that, yeah, you're probably at a point where you're not writing your own bio. You've got, you know, have historians or whatever, people that are writing it for you, or PR people, whatever they are. I would much rather see Rick just kind of put something in his own words about himself, excuse me. Rather than having like this third person thing, because, you know, obviously people, you know, are coming to see his work here. The other thing is that, you know, we've got a Gmail link here, but it's not a clickable link. And I really think that's a no-no. I don't think that there's anything good about putting links on your web page that aren't clickable, because people have such a short attention span that, you know, to copy and paste this and put it in another email, that's kind of too much for some people. Let's go to contact. All right, and here we go. Email, phone, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. Again, you know, these are all the right links, but I would much rather have clickable links over here, because that would save me a lot of time rather than having to click. Yeah, sure, the phone number doesn't have to be clickable, of course, but all the other stuff, the Instagram, the Tumblr, Twitter, email. Oh, and one other thing on the About page. There should be a picture. I feel that it's really important for a photographer to have a picture of himself up there, because again, that helps connect you to the photographer. And then the last thing on the contact page, let's just take a quick look at Rick's Instagram. Okay, so I'm going to go Instagram and paste his thing in here. See what I had to do there? I had to do all those steps. Great. That's an awesome portrait. Yeah, that's really cool. Now this is probably him. Why not have this picture up there? You know, this needs to be on the About page, this thing right here. He's got a Tumblr page, you know, and he's got a lot of, you know, kind of graphic, a little not safe for work, but, you know, that's part of youth culture, you know, not giving, you know, a rat's ass about what other people think, being your own person, doing your own thing. What I'm also noticing about Rick's Instagram, it's a great Instagram. I'm going to follow Rick's Instagram, and because I really enjoy looking at his work. And again, it really is chock full of the work that's on his website. So I'm not seeing, like, you know, a lot of iPhone stuff, which is totally fine. I mean, he might not, excuse me, he might not be somebody who shoots iPhone or even cares about the iPhone stuff. He might just carry his camera with him and really want to tell his story that way. All right, boom. So there we go. So we're going to go back to the home page and hang out there. All right, guys. So look, I really, really thoroughly enjoyed Good Time Rick's website. In fact, I had a good time at your website, Rick. I really enjoyed it, and thank you for sharing it. I know that from a technical standpoint that this is not the kind of work that has that real technical aspect to it, and that is fine, okay? Rick is a storyteller. He's kind of a documentary photographer, if you want to think about that, because he's documenting his life. And he's got a lot of access, or he's got incredible access to all different kinds of people, from artists to musicians to his friends, whatever. And he's telling that story, and he's doing it in a really great and a cohesive way. So I think that, you know, he's doing a great job. I think that there's a few things that could be weeded out, you know, the ones that are not quite as strong and not telling the story as strong as some of the others. When I originally landed on this, I wasn't 100% sure that I wanted to see all the music stuff on the front page. You know, I thought that maybe we should land on the hangout culture. There is some of that hangout culture. There's some stuff mixed all around in there. So, you know, really it's up to Rick to kind of decide, like, you know, does he want to get hired more for the lifestyle stuff, for the music stuff? You know, maybe when we land on that home page, maybe we get a little bit more of the hangout culture kind of lifestyle stuff and some of the music thrown in there. That's potentially, possibly one idea. But overall, I think the website is truly solid. I would clean up those links. I would make it easy so all the social media links are really readily available and ready to click on. Clean up that bio, you know, put it in the first person, and on the contact page, make those links clickable. Maybe even have a contact form. You know how much I love the forms, and I like the fact that it reduces or eliminates spam if you have it set up properly. And there you go. So there you go, guys. Thank you again for watching another Squarespace website portfolio review. If you want your website reviewed, just use the link below. That's it for now, and we'll see you soon.